This is the League of the Genuine Conversations with me, your host, Fred Muwema. We are back with yet another episode of the only show on the planet where we discuss the important but often ignored subject of counterfeits. Join me in welcoming our guest this week, the Public Relations Officer of the Uganda Cancer Institute, Christine Namulindw. You are welcome to the show.
Thank you.
I have hosted Dr. Okuku, Dr. Osinde, oncologists from the Uganda Cancer Institute. You are the third officer from the Uganda Cancer Institute. So some people might be thinking that Cancer Institute is monopolizing the show. What do you say to that?
I think if that's the view, it's not really bad. I think we should actually be here more often, because most of the things that deal with counterfeits end up getting us very many clients and more people.
They get us sick.
Yes, they get us sick. So many people are getting affected because of the counterfeits in our environment and everywhere. And then as the Cancer Institute, we really get concerned of the numbers that are coming onto us. And then basically
the show is working for you. You're using it to disseminate. Hopefully you will continue as PRO to tell people about this.
Yeah, basically we want to actually have more engagements with you, so that we are able to push this voice to even to the last person, the least of the least, so
to
that
the grassroots.
To the grassroots, so they're able to know what really
we successfully I know you're doing the National Cancer Control Plan.
Yeah.
We were able to give you the anti-counterfeit pillar.
And we are really grateful for that part, and that is one of the reasons as to why we are coming to the show. But I don't think we are yet monopolizing. At least we should look around here.
Okay, so Cancer Institute. People may not know what Cancer Institute is about. Is it just a hospital? Is it a place where you get treatment, or you do more than that?
Okay, we do more than that. First of all, we are a hospital, but not just a hospital. We are a national referral hospital for all the cancers in the country, the cancer cases. We do training. We have the mandate of training all the oncologists. These are the cancer specialists.
The doctors.
The doctors, the nurses, the radiographers.
You
everyone.
train them there?
We train them in
you have a school?
Yes. In the entire East African region, Uganda Cancer Institute has the mandate of training oncologists all over East Africa.
Oh.
Yes, under the East Africa's Oncology Center of Excellence. So we are the East Africa's Oncology Center of Excellence. So under that, we do the training and the research. So we are mandated with training, research, treatment, care, everything as the Uganda Cancer Institute. So if we are to change names, would be East Africa's, but
the
still
East
we
African Cancer Institute.
But we are East Africa's Oncology Center of Excellence.
So you're handling not just Ugandans, but
no, not just
you
Ugandans.
Have patients from all over the region.
From all over East Africa and the Horn of Africa.
Wow. So I know we have interviewed doctors on this show, and they have told us what cancer is. But for you as a public relations, in simple terms, what is cancer?
So when we look at cancer, it's the growth, uncontrolled growth of abnormal cells in the body.
Abnormal cells?
Abnormal.
Or dead cells? Or
dead or abnormal. They change shape. So let me say if a cell is supposed to be round, and it turns out to be rectangular, and yet so it becomes abnormal. It may even change color, but in its abnormality, in its death, and it continues.
Because when the cell dies, I think it's supposed to
get out.
To get out, and you get a new cell in place.
That's where the issue comes in. They die, they become abnormal, but they don't move out, and then they multiply. So when
the dead ones.
Yes.
So that's where you get a malignance.
So once they multiply, and then the cancer develops. So cancer is given a name. There are very many cancers, over 100. It's given a name according to the body part where it began. If it begins from the breast but circulates elsewhere in the body, we remain saying that is breast cancer because it started from the breast.
The origin.
The origin. If it begins from the prostate, it will be called cancer of the prostate.
Even if it spreads.
Even if it spreads, yes. So it is
So-
the growth uncontrolled.
And what causes that?
So there are very many factors. So we have cancers that are caused by viruses. Say for example, cancer of the cervix, we know that is the human papillomavirus. We have the Epstein-Barr virus, we have cancers of the lymphoma, but there are also cancers whose causes are not known. We are together. Yes, we have those ones whose causes are not known. And then we have the ones where we can point this virus, this cancer. And then there are those which we look at and we say, now this may be lifestyle, may be environment. But another person may participate and do the same lifestyles, have multiple sexual partners, have this and that, smoke, drink, and they may not get the cancer. And for you may have the same lifestyle and you still get the cancer. So there are also those ones where the exact cause is not known.
On this show, we are creating awareness against counterfeits. Would you consider cancer as a form of counterfeit?
Definitely, I would so. Now, when you look at let me call them the risk factors for cancer. Number one, lifestyle. How do you behave? Instead of walking, you sit in your car up to office. In office, you're seated on a chair behind your table.
If there's a lift, you take a lift, you don't even want to walk up.
And then the food meets you on your table. The tea girl brings the food, and then you end up becoming obese, and the body is not exercising, and yet you're supposed to exercise this body to enable the dead cells move out of your body.
So you're saying a sedentary lifestyle,
Yes.
chilling, relaxing,
Relaxing.
is fertile ground for
It's
cancer
a very
to...
fertile ground. And then taking a lot of sugars, eating a lot of foods. Actually now in Europe, they are going back to saying touch your food less. While in Africa, we are touching our food more. And yet when they came here and they found us, we touch our food less. You just peel your matoke into the banana leaves, then you steam it, and then everything is like the less touch.
In the natural form?
In the natural form.
What do you mean touch your food less?
Touch
Eat
your-
less or...
No,
Yeah.
when you're preparing, you don't have to touch it much. So there are these touches. You put this spice, you first boil, and then you deep fry, and then from the deep frying, then you air fry. So we find that we create the toxins into this food, and we pull out all the nutrients.
Oh, so you mean when you spice your food, spicy?
Not just spicy.
Ah.
When I talk about touching, because I'm not against spices in food, they're usually natural. But what I mean about touching your food more is you get the cassava, you peel it, then at first you boil, from the boiling it, and then you deep fry it. So you're literally peeling
Taking out the nutrients?
the nutrients and then
but how
creating
does
toxins.
how does that make you eligible or susceptible to cancer?
Because you're eating toxins into your body. You're eating the toxins. By the time this thing is deep fried, its natural form is out of it and the nutrients are out, and then you're consuming toxins.
So you're telling us to eat more natural, organic?
Like, let us have our food boiled, because this is what our grandparents, our fathers used to do, and the cases of cancer were minimal. But now that we are consuming a lot of these, and then also we have medicines, and then the medicines we are consuming have a lot of side effects and everything. So each medicine, whether it's a Panadol or any other medicine, it has a side effect. So we find that our bodies are more susceptible to getting cancer than they were in the past.
Because of lifestyle?
Because of
Is
lifestyle.
lifestyle the only cause?
It's not the only
cancers?
cause, actually. Lifestyle in Uganda, lifestyle attributes to about 20% of the cancers. Then we have infection-related cancers, which actually account for more cancers in the country. This is about 42%.
What do you mean infection?
Infection-related. there are those cancers that we get because of an infection that we have. Say, for example, if you have HIV, you may get cancer of the skin. In Uganda, this is Kaposi sarcoma, cancer of the skin, because maybe you have HIV. It's different from the ones that the whites have, because for them, basically, it is the sun and everything, and then they develop cancers of the skin.
The sun rays can cause cancer on a white skin.
To them, but not to us. So for us, it's basically you're HIV positive, and then you will get the Kaposi sarcoma. This is the cancer of the skin. And then also in HIV positive women, we find that many of them also have cervical cancer. And then the cancers in the children, the Burkitt's lymphoma, it's also because of the infections. So we find that most...
Talking about Burkitt's lymphoma, when I interviewed Dr. Kuku in May 2021, he said that Burkitt's lymphoma, a cancer in the children, is caused or attributed to counterfeit antimalarials.
Antimalarial drugs.
That when you give a child antimalarials that are fake and the child is not healing, the child becomes anemic, it eventually develops
because the glands get weakened and then they start swelling. And
so that's Burkitt's lymphoma cancer.
Then the Burkitt's lymphoma forms. And then also for the parents that do not take their children for treatment, and this child has continuous, constant malaria that does not go away. This month the child is sick, next month like that. And then also it also gets on to, say, where you take the child to the clinic and they are not getting the required medication. And then these kids that are always treated for infections. Like you go to the clinic and every time the doctor checks, the child has an infection and you're given drugs to treat the infection. Every time he's given drugs to treat the infection. So what
causes the problem there? Is it the treatment or the infection?
The infection that does not go away, that the doctor is not telling you, please, can you go and check, this could be a cancer. Because they're not giving the right treatment to what the child is suffering from. So we find that it is a whole lot of things, the counterfeit drugs that this kid may be consuming.
The counterfeit food.
The counterfeit foods that they may be taking, and the water that is contaminated.
Maybe the Vaseline.
Maybe the Vaselines that have steroids. We have those a lot on the market.
Heavy metals like mercury.
And then I want to talk about the steroids in the Vaseline, where we find so many people saying, okay, now I want my child to use the herbal Vaseline, but these Vaselines have steroids that are making these children sick.
Why do they put steroids there?
I think that is a question to NDA.
What is the role of a steroid?
So I don't know why they put steroids into this Vaseline, but I think it's supposed maybe to create a clearer skin for the child. And
yet we have so many companies, everybody can mix Vaseline and put on the market. But you're saying this is a danger.
It's a danger, especially for the herbals, for the herbal Vaselines.
And what cancer is caused by those?
So we may find, eventually with the time the child starts getting sick, we're talking about looking at the children, eventually the child starts getting sick because parents now are bending more towards the herbal Vaselines, but they have that element that may make your child sick.
But why isn't Cancer Institute coming out to warn us? Why don't you issue some statement?
Now we are coming out. Right now what we do is to educate, but
like we are doing now.
Like we are doing now. But our mandate is to educate, create awareness, and make research about that. But then for the implementation, that is not the Cancer Institute now. That has to be another organization with which we collaborate, and that is the NDA.
We're going to take a break. When we come back, we shall talk about the fundamental principle of modern healthcare, which is prevention is better than cure. What is the Cancer Institute doing about that? Let's take a break. We're back with the second segment of the League of the Genuine Conversations. We are here with the Public Relations Officer, Christine Namulindw. Uganda Cancer Institute, Is it following the fundamental principle of modern health care? Prevention
It's better than cure.
cure.
Yeah.
Is Cancer Institute concentrating on treating rather than preventing? You wait for people to fall sick, then you treat, or how are you following that principle?
So we are actually our work. That is the foundation of our work with prevention, better than cure. Even in our messages, first of all, let me begin with the messages that we put out. Once you detect cancer early and you get the right treatment, you are guaranteed with cure. Cancer is curable. It's not a death sentence. There are diseases that are not curable. Say, for example, HIV, you live with it, but cancer, you can get treated and you live a healthy lifestyle afterwards. Maybe just having hospital revisits, but then we clear you off. You're fine, you're fine. We have children that we treated at the age of 5, 8, 9, 10. Right now, they are big people in offices, big. Actually, we have someone in the Ministry of Health. He was our patient as a child at the age of 12. Right now, he is working
A
with
big
the ministry.
person.
Yes, around 50 something. So you see that cancer is not a death sentence. Cancer is curable if detected early. So we drive our messages to that, and we have started off with creating awareness, not only to the general public, but also to the health centers. So we rolled out a program which...
What do you mean to the health centers?
Health centers. To the health centers, we get to the health center for. With clinics and private hospitals, we come on invitation. But now we started with the government hospitals, with the government health centers. We rolled out a program, I think by end of last year we were done, where we go to all health centers, up to health center 4, where we are educating the medical personnel in these health centers to be able to detect cancer and make the required referrals. Because once cancer is detected early and this person gets the right treatment, the
It
results
goes,
are
but
good.
cancer is not like malaria where you just put a thermometer and check. You need, I think, specialized equipment.
The special-
Are those equipments there
in the health centers.
In the health center.
So in the health centers, what we give them, we cannot purchase for them the equipment, everything, like even doing the biopsy and everything. But what we come with what we give them is the knowledge. If someone presents this, and this, and then we are able to teach them how to screen the cancers that they're able to screen, say cancers of the prostate, cancers of the breast, cancer of the cervix, those ones can be screened everywhere. So, and then we
you
take,
even have a mobile.
we also have that
something mobile screening.
mobile screening
working?
clinic. It's working, and currently we have one van, but I think within 2 months' time we shall be having another van. So we are able to move to different parts of the country at the same time. So we teach you as a health personnel, if someone presents like this, please can you refer this person to us early enough? And we are able to-
But what surprises is that overall we've made progress in human health care and so on, you know. We have better medicines, we have better equipment, but especially the non-communicable diseases are going up. WHO says that about 3/4 of the deaths we have in the world, 60-70 million people die every year. 3/4 of the deaths are from diseases like cancer.
non-communicable.
How do you explain improved healthcare system, more sick people?
More sick people.
Isn't that fake? That balance is not balancing.
It's a counterfeit balance.
How do you explain that?
So, first of all, what we looked at the beginning, we have a lot of counterfeits on the market. The pesticides, from the pesticides, and then we have
Which go into the food
which
we
go
eat.
into the food we eat. We have a lot of GMOs. You get the point. We have a lot of GMOs. We have a lot of, especially within towns, a lot of contaminated water. So there are also these people where it's raining and someone just opens their sewage tank too, and then all this goes into the water which people are consuming. So we have so much of this, and then put on the drugs and also the food and everything that we are using, the lotions, the Vaseline, everything. So most of these things are not genuine, and then you find.
So you're saying counterfeits are worsening our cancer burden?
They're worsening the burden, and then accompanied with a sedentary lifestyle, and then also other lifestyle changes. For example, the recent report, if they say people are using, in Uganda, people are using less of the condoms. They are not consuming many of the condoms, and then the HIV rates are going high. When the HIV rates go high, also the cancer cases are going to go high.
So what is Uganda Cancer Institute's strategy of pushing back these high rates of infection of cancer cases? What's your plan?
First of all, we want to look at the National Cancer Control Plan. In this plan that we are mandated by the Ministry of Health to come up with this plan, we are basically stating to government that this is what should be done, because it's a control plan for us to be able to control. So once all these things that have been stated, that tobacco consumption, alcohol consumption, because all those things are there, the counterfeits and everything.
Alcohol also contributes to cancer cases. How is that?
So once you consume alcohol, you increase your chances of getting cancer. Why? It gets into your body and damages some of your organs.
Maybe you're saying if you consume too much alcohol, because even in the Bible, Jesus gave some wine.
Some wine.
A little wine doesn't kill.
A little doesn't. Okay, what we are saying, it's not easy for you to get off alcohol at once if you've been taking, because there are some people who take crates. Someone just goes to a bar, takes a crate in the night, and they are done.
And it's meat and it's all.
And it's meat and everything. So at least you start by saying, okay, today I'll take 3 bottles. Then the following day you can, okay, the following month you may take like 2 bottles until you totally get it off, because alcohol increases your chances of getting cancer.
But I'm not hearing adverts or messages, at least for tobacco. There is a warning. It's harmful.
Even alcohol has on the bottles, excessive consumption of alcohol is harmful.
Yes, but I'm saying Cancer Institute.
Cancer Institute.
Why don't you come out and warn us? Take it at your own risk.
We are going to come out and make the message more vivid. I think right now what we are doing is basically to educate, but we are going to come out with vivid messages.
Every year, I was seeing a report which says every year 33,000 Ugandans are diagnosed with cancer. But only about 7,000 come to the Uganda Cancer Institute for treatment. It doesn't add up.
First of all,
why are people not coming to the
why
Cancer
are
Institute?
people not coming for treatment? So that the diagnosis, since we're able to educate medical personnel and everyone, so people are able now to screen people for cancers. But then we have limitations. Some of these people are screened in the villages and they cannot come to the Cancer Institute. Other people, once they get screened, then they run to the church for God to heal. Others go to the shrines. Maybe someone has bewitched my daughter, so for example, cancer of the blood, leukemia. Your kid may lose blood very frequently, and then the infusion is done, and then it's out, and then this
so
person
they say
is
that's
like,
witchcraft.
this is witchcraft. A demon is taking blood out of my child. So that is where we lose most of the people, and they don't come to us for treatment. But we looked at this, and as government decided to set up regional cancer centers.
Where are the centers?
So at the moment, the regional cancer center in Gulu is open. Actually, last week we had surgeries that went for about 2 weeks for the head and neck. This is in Gulu. So Yes, and then the other centers we shall have in the 4 regions, in Gulu, that is northern Uganda, in Arua for West Nile, in Mbale for East, and in Mbarara for West. So that we do not have these cases of people, I am diagonized, I cannot go to Kampala, I have no relative, I have no transport to Kampala.
Because the last time in 2021 I saw many people sleeping.
Yeah, many people sleeping
in the corridors, on the floors.
All that has changed. Even the ones in the other centers, the centers are not yet ready, up and running. In Mbarara we have a clinic running. Gulu, the center is open for treatment. But then in other centers we are yet to set up. But what we did as the Cancer Institute, we noticed that these people come from very far, and then cancer treatment is not just a one-off. Some of those people you saw on the floors in 2021, 2022, the people that you saw on the floor were just waiting for treatment because they were not supposed to be inpatients.
You mean somebody cannot get the treatment and you give a dose and they go home?
That is what would have been ideal, but this person has sold a goat to come from Kaberamaido to Kampala for treatment. And then you tell him, go home, come back after 3 weeks for another dose.
May not have transport.
May not have transport. So those were the cases that you would find at the Cancer Institute, sleeping on the verandas, waiting for another dose. But we found a solution for them. We set up a care home up the hill at the Uganda Cancer Institute. We set up a care home for them. So we took them off the verandas, put them into the care home. They're able to prepare their own food there, and then various organizations come in and give them donations, food, and support them. So once the time for treatment, if the 3 weeks elapse, the person goes back. So basically they're supposed to be outpatients, not inpatients.
But as you're doing that, the counterfeiters are also hovering around
the Cancer Institute,
selling
drugs and everything.
Fake cancer drugs.
Fake anti-cancer drugs. So
yes, anti-cancer drugs. What is the incidence of fake cancer drugs? Are they a reality or a myth?
I think also there is a report that was out on some medicines of
Avastin.
Yes, fake anti-cancer drugs on the market. I think that report was published by NDA. So once they come out and say this is fake, we are able to know this is fake. But we can also know why, because.
But are there fake cancer drugs?
Yes, they could.
Is it a bad situation or it is just isolated?
I think that it's an isolated thing, because what we purchase, we work directly with the manufacturers. That is the beauty that we have as the Cancer Institute. All the medicines we have as Cancer Institute, we work directly with the manufacturers.
So you don't go through local technical representatives?
No.
Agencies?
No. With our mandate, our act gives us a mandate to work, to purchase
directly.
Our own. Yes. So, and that's where we're able to increase the
but
number.
How come in, I was seeing a media report 2017, Avastin, for example, a cancer drug manufactured by AstraZeneca. How does it find its way with the hawker?
Now,
they found a hawker near Mulago.
Mulago hawking. Now, with us
Avastin.
as Cancer Institute, we make sure we get the right drug. But we do not have control over the private pharmacies on what they put into their pharmacies.
No, hawker. This is not a hawker who sells maize and these other things.
He's having
cancer medicine.
How
does that happen?
They could be getting them from the pharmacies to sell around the hospital. So, and that is 2017.
That report that I saw, 2017. Could it be?
No, by 2017, I think we hadn't started purchasing our own medicines. By 2017, yeah, we hadn't yet.
And then all these medicines manufactured by Pfizer, by AstraZeneca, imported medicines. Why don't you do some import substitution? Why don't you manufacture your own drugs?
So thank you, that is a very good question. So as a Cancer Institute, we looked at this whole thing, and we want to do what we want now, to move towards targeted therapy. Once you come in and then you are diagnosed, this is the cancer you have, we want to create for you a combination that is for you.
You want to manufacture, or
yes,
you want to?
To manufacture, we have in process under our research team, and then also the pharmacy team. We want to work with a different pharmaceuticals to be able to make our own medicines.
You want to establish a manufacturing unit?
Yes. So that once you are our patient, we want to give you a treatment that is meant for you, not a treatment that has been tested from the UK, from Germany, and then somehow the side effects may be different once they come onto a Ugandan. So that's where we want to head as an institution. We want to make sure that we actually to also increase the number of people that are cured, the number of the cure cases. That's where we
Let's take a break. We are here with the third and last segment of the League of the Genuine Conversations. We are discussing the relationship between counterfeits and cancer, and to help us unpack the subject as we conclude here is the Public Relations Officer, Christine Namulindw, Uganda Cancer Institute. This is the last segment. You said Uganda Cancer Institute is in charge of handling matters
everything
to do
cancer.
with cancer, which you say is also a form of counterfeiting. It is an abnormality. We hear the cancer run all the time. You organize this as well?
We partner with organizers of the cancer run.
The cancer run?
Yeah. This is the Rotary Cancer Run, yeah.
So what is the purpose of such? Because some people think it's just a PR, it's just a media event. If you see the cancer burden we have over the last 5 years when we've been having this run, the cancer cases are just going up. And yet we are running. Because
it's creating more awareness. More people are able to know, oh, let me screen. Because even around the cancer run, we are screening. We offer the screening services to people who come in, and then so it's better to walk in when you're feeling fine, you don't have any signs, don't wait for any signs, don't wait for any symptoms, and then you're just checked.
So the increased cases of cancer is not because you're not doing your work?
No.
It is because there is more
awareness, more people now know, even, and shows like this are able to make other people understand. Oh, if I have a child has this problem, maybe there could be a cancer.
So then you go for screening. But if we are to talk at the institute, the only institute we have, you said it's even East African. Can you speak about your capacity? Are you enough to take up 150 million, to cater for 150 million East Africans?
150
How big are you?
So at the moment, for the inpatients, in a day, we are able to house 150.
150.
These are the inpatients, the beds, the capacity. But now we are setting up a structure. It's almost getting complete, where we shall have a 360 bed in capacity ward.
Wow.
365.
That is for children, for adults, for women.
And the men. And children, men, women. 365 in a day, and we are able to say, okay, now this is the ward capacity we have in Kampala. Not looking at the ward capacities that we are setting up in the regional cancer centers, but for the inpatients at the moment we have 150, and then the outpatients we have around from 300 to 450, the ones that come in, and we're able to cater for all of them.
That is the physical infrastructure. What about equipment? Because I see you get a lot of donations. The other time I saw some, was it MTN or somebody offering you mobile screening, or
a van?
Was it a van?
That is from Agrawal, His Excellency Agrawal.
Indian High Commissioner.
Indian High Commissioner.
Yes. So you are building 360. What about the equipment? You have it as well?
So for the equipment, our capacity is increasing daily. In Sub-Saharan Africa, at the moment, we have the most recent radiotherapy machines, the true beam linear accelerators. Anywhere, move anywhere, they are here in Uganda. We started off with one, and we have increased our capacity to 3, and they cost about, each machine costs about $4 million US. So there's quite a big investment that government is putting in to purchase cancer machines. Our laboratories are now one of the top-notch laboratories in the country. So we are
in the country or in Africa?
In the country at the moment.
The ones at Cancer Institute?
The ones at Cancer Institute, our pathology labs, and then also the general labs. So our capacity regarding infrastructure and equipment is really increasing. When we talk about the 360 inpatient ward, that is infrastructure. When we talk about the East Africa's Oncology Center of Excellence, that is also infrastructure, and it also have the modern theaters, modern labs, where we are able to do also to offer telemedicine. We want to venture into robotics surgeries. You're somewhere
artificial
else.
Intelligence.
Yes, artificial intelligence. So if you are there at the National Science Exhibition, we're exhibiting all of these things that we're able to do. So
on this platform, we've developed an acronym of DANCANI. DANCANI stands for, as you can see, differentiation, the factors which cause people to take counterfeits. Differentiation, affordability, normancy, it's normal, convenience. We don't know the concealed dangers, aspiration, negligence, ineffective cooperation. But there is affordability there. Cost is one of the biggest reasons people buy the alternatives which are cheaper. And I see that cancer drugs are very expensive. For example, in that case, Sulent, that drug, cancer drug manufactured by Pfizer, one packet was 3 million shillings. What is Uganda Cancer Institute doing to mitigate costs, to prevent counterfeits in cancer treatment?
Actually, I think on the show, this is the question I've loved the most. So what we are doing as the Cancer Institute, as I said, we work directly with the manufacturer. We eliminated middlemen. Once the middlemen are in the equation, the cost is high. So we eliminated the middlemen. After elimination of the middlemen, I think we're standing at about 7 billion Ugandan shillings for purchasing our drugs, but that was like little. Right now we are standing at a capacity of 15 billion.
That's about
Ugandan shillings.
$4 million.
To purchase our anti-cancer medicines. So we place in our order to the manufacturer. This is exactly what we want. We don't want a counterfeit of this. And from this, we have seen many of the people who present early are getting cured, not because a particular medicine has failed to be combined with this. Because with chemotherapy, it's not just one medicine. It is ABC combined together. So once you get a counterfeit, you're not able to mix, A is not able to mix with B. They'll try to mix in the chemotherapy mixing chambers and the medicine will not mix because there is a counterfeit with it. So all this we have eliminated because we are not taking anything from a broker, from a middleman. We go direct to the manufacturer. This is what we want. This is what you manufacture for us. Company A manufactures, company B like that. And when we combine these medicines, we're able to get the right result. So you see that the government has increased the budget, though we still ask for more because the numbers are high. The government has increased our budget, and we have also increased the capacity, not just with the amount of money given, but also dealing directly with the manufacturer and taking away the middleman.
Okay, fair enough. But one of the biggest causes of counterfeiting, even when you get the product from source, is packaging. So you get the right medicine with the right packaging, no problem. But this packaging can be faked.
And it looks exactly.
So somebody uses some intermediate technology, gets the nice seal, the nice packaging, and puts the medicine in. How are you dealing with that?
All our medicines are actually tested by NDA, National Drug Authority, to make sure that is the right medicine we are taking.
So you don't have cases where somebody can fake the packaging?
No, not at the moment. Even if the packaging is faked, NDA has to approve what we give to our patients. they check the medicines.
And how is the patient participating in this fight against counterfeits? Are you sensitizing the cancer patients on reporting?
Oh, yes.
Because they provide the front line.
So we go through what we do before we start off with any treatment at the Cancer Institute. The first thing that we do every day in the morning is to create awareness and educate them on what should be done. Because we were getting an influx, not just of people coming in, hawking with anti-cancer medicines. Those ones used to be there. But now that they know they cannot sell the medicines in, so now we have an influx of people coming in with supplements, CGE, the supplements.
The caregivers.
The care.
So you allow caregivers to, in addition to your combination, to also give?
No, that's why we educate them. We tell them the dangers of that medication that they are trying to sneak in. So we tell you, if you want to give your patient a supplement, discuss it with the doctor and let the doctor tell you whether this patient should get a supplement or not. Even that.
So that's why you keep the patient there.
That's why we keep you there, to be able to monitor you and to make sure that we are giving you the right treatment. But that does not mean that there are those ones who sneak when they go home and they take other concoctions.
And do cancer patients have special diets that they have to take?
Yeah, we educate them about, we have a whole nutrition unit. So we basically take them through what they should be eating, a lot of veggies, and then definitely if you're on cancer treatment, you stop the alcohol, you stop the smoking, because we tell you these things really disturb you. So we also have put in a spiritual aspect where we invite different people. The pastors come and pray, the priests come and pray, and the imams. So we find that we not only give you this treatment, but we also care for your spiritual needs. Because if it comes from a priest that you should stop taking this alcohol, it's bad, this patient may listen more.
So prayer is a form of treatment?
Yes, we also give
you
it.
Encourage it. It's part of this.
It's part of the therapy. Psychological. The counselors will counsel you everything. But if you're Muslim and your imam came over and prayed over you, you just feel, I think I'm heading to the right direction.
Now, do you have a data bank in Uganda on fake counterfeits in cancer treatment? Because I know you have a register.
We have a register
for the patients.
For the patients.
Do you keep a register of
for the fake,
for the fakes?
For the fake counterfeits, I think that is something that we can look into.
Because one of the biggest challenges in fighting counterfeits is we don't have information.
The information.
We don't have data.
No, that is something we can look into. Since we have a fully fledged research department, we can look into that.
So as we conclude, Uganda Cancer Institute, what behaviors are you telling the listeners to avoid or to reduce in order not to get exposed to cancer?
Very many behaviors, but for this month I want to concentrate on prostate cancer, because as Uganda Cancer Institute in November, this is what we look at. This is the cancer that we hype most. We tell people prostate cancer is there and everything. So the foods we eat, we are a society that eats a lot of meat, red meats and everything. So let us change from that, and then we try to reverse to say the white meats, poultry and everything. But even there we saw reports of where ARVs were present
in the poultry.
So these are some of the things that are beyond Cancer Institute implementing all, but we can talk about them and then other organizations take over, like our partners, NDA. So let us reduce the red meats, alcohol, smoking, because smoking causes about 75% of the cancers that affect us. And then also the sexual habits. There are so many sexual habits that we are developing, that we are coping, I think, watching so many things, and then everything is going wrong. So in January, we shall be looking at cancer of the cervix that is caused by the human papillomavirus. And then it is funny to find the human papillomavirus in the throat of a man. So
So men who are engaging in unnatural sex acts.
Like the oral sex and everything. So you find that this HPV is supposed to be in a woman's cervix, but it
gets
is
into
in
a
your
man's
throat. Yes. So there are some of these things that people are doing out of pleasure, but they are actually getting sick because of what they are doing. So
they should keep it natural.
They should keep it natural. We have looked at many people now getting cancers of the prostate because of homosexuality. These are some of the things that we can try to avoid, and then we're able to live a healthy life.
Which gender is more prone, therefore, to cancer? Which gender, which race?
Which gender, which race? So I want to concentrate on prostate cancer for this month. For prostate cancer, we see that the black race, being black, being African, you're more prone to getting prostate cancer than the white.
Why?
Than the white. That is in the genes. The genes explain that. So if you're black and then now you add on the homosexuality, now you see your chances are high. And then also if in your family, say your father, your grandfather had prostate cancer, chances are high. If you clock about 40 and your father had prostate cancer, please come to Cancer Institute and we do the tests. It's not a difficult test. We just take off a blood sample and then we're able to see early detection plus the right treatment. You're guaranteed.
So who is more prone, women, men?
All genders.
All gender.
Yes, are prone.
All ages.
All ages. Because we have children, we have adults. So it's not that cancer is for the poor. All cancer is for the rich. All classes are taken. And then, so we advocate more for awareness. Why? Because however rich you are, you cannot sit alone and you treat your cancer. We've had many people opt to fly out. Once they go out, they're told, oh, go back to Uganda, look for Jackson or Rem. You came for this machine here, go back to Uganda, you have the latest model. So, and to that I want to credit our government for putting in enough funds to do all these things, to train.
So you're saying
the oncologists.
We have sufficient capacity to treat cancers in Uganda.
Yeah.
Your message to the viewers on cancer and counterfeits.
Okay. Thank you. My message to each and everyone, let us be vigilant. You may not be able to prevent these things of lacking in as someone, a lay person, but what you can do at the moment is if you know the exact price of a good and someone is giving it to you at a much less price, put a question mark. That could be a counterfeit that you're taking. So let us be vigilant, look at the labels, look at the product that you're taking. Let us try to, actually there are some supermarkets you go to and they have some of these things labeled, organic foods. Let us try to go more organic and then we stop the counterfeits. This war is for all of us. Let us not just sit back and say, okay, the government should fight this. No, it is for all of us because all of us are affected. And then we shall reduce the number of people that are getting cancer in the country.
Your message on them?
Okay, my message on the herbal vaselines is they contain steroids, which may not be good for your children and for the growth of your children. Eventually, if children are using these vaselines, more oftenly they will get sick, and we shall have many of them into the Cancer Institute because of the steroids they were taking.
Thank you so much, Christine Namulindw. That has been the Public Relations Officer of the Uganda Cancer Institute. We thank you so much for making the time, and we appreciate the partnership between SEN and Uganda Cancer Institute. As always, we would like to thank those who make it a date every Friday to be an audience. This show is your show. We would like to inform and empower you to fight and reject the many counterfeits that pervade our society. If you like what we are doing, please do give us a thumbs up, do subscribe to the channel, do share. We rely on your support to make this program go on and on. As always, don't be fake, buy and sell genuine.